So, over the last decade, we have seen a lot of Muslims performing hijra, so moving back to Muslim majority countries and away from the Western countries. And over the last 2 to 3 years, this has taken a huge turn where a lot of Muslims are now moving out of the Western countries, especially United States and Canada, and they're moving into some of the Middle Eastern and Asian countries, right? So in this video, I want to dive a little deeper into what are some of the top countries that Muslims are moving into and why are they performing this hijrah at this time, right? So firstly, what is hijrah? Hijrah is us moving back into Muslim majority countries, just like the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did from Mecca to Medina when he faced persecution and he had to find a new base and he moved into Medina. That was his new home. And even when after the conquest of Mecca, when he took over Mecca again and Mecca became all Muslim, he still went back and lived in Medina, right? Because that was home for him. So first, let's go over a few reasons why Muslims feel the need to move out of the Western countries. So our ancestors, even up to the previous generation, up to like 10, 15 years ago, we have seen a lot of people that want to come to the West. They want to come to the United States. They want to come to Canada, some of the other European countries, and settle there. Majority of the reason was quality of life, quality of education, healthcare, etc. Right? But now, why are they moving out? So here are a couple of top reasons that why Muslims are moving out of the United States and Canada mostly. Well, firstly, faith and identity, right? You want to be able to practice your faith openly, especially being Muslim, praying 5 times a day, Friday having Jum'ah, Ramadan having a whole month of fasting. On top of that, being able to go for Taraweeh at nighttime for Ramadan as well. We have Eid. We have a lot of different events that we take part on a daily basis. So our faith is very active, right? We don't just have 1 or 2 events a year. Throughout the year, we have different events that we're taking part in. In the Western culture, there is very less space for us to be able to perform these religious activities on a day-to-day basis. For example, Friday is a working day for Jum'ah. On Eid, we don't get time off. Some school districts are now giving that. They are giving time off for children, but majority of the school districts, they don't. They have to they just have to skip school. For some of us, we have to use PTO that work in corporate world for us to do that. Some jobs don't allow you to take time off. Especially if you're an essential worker. And a lot of immigrants that come from Middle East, Asia, they have to work those jobs where you don't get time off. And if you do, it affects you in other ways, right? You're not getting the hours that you need, etc., etc. We know how this works. So that's one of the reasons why people want to live in a Muslim country. You hear the adhan 5 times a day and you can go pray. Eid is off, not just the day of Eid. We get time off before and after Eid. For Ramadan, a lot of countries do half a day work. During time of iftar, you can go spend time with the family. Everything else is shut down. Friday for Jummah, you can do that. So these are all reasons that add up to why it's hard for us to practice our faith and stay in our identity in the Western countries, right? The second part is raising children. So family values are very important for us as Muslims. And one of the things that we struggle with is raising our children in environments that value our faith, right? There are commonalities between Muslim faith, Christian faith, and the Jewish faith, but in today's time, in the modern Western society where liberalism has taken over, there is no space for these values, whether it's for Muslims and even for some conservative Christian and Jewish families. They're not being able to teach their children, including ourselves, the values that we want them to grow around and the environment that we want them to grow around. So that's another reason that a lot of people are choosing to raise their children outside of the Western society. And we have seen Islamophobia and discrimination, right, over the last, 20, 25 years, more than ever before. The idea of Muslims not being the ideal Western society, which is a wrongful idea, has been fueled a lot by Western media, etc. And that has become an issue for a lot of Muslims when they raise their children, especially if they're women that are wearing hijab or men that are wearing their traditional clothing. You get looked at a certain way. This causes discomfort, and this causes us to not be able to practice our faith as openly as we want to. Cost of living has become ridiculous in the West. That's one of the other big reason, and also cost of healthcare. Right, you want your children and yourself, your family, to have good quality healthcare, and healthcare has become very difficult, especially in the U.S. So these are some of the reasons why Muslims are slowly going away. They're walking away from the Western society. So now let's get into some of the interesting parts here. What are some of the top countries that Muslims are moving into, right? So at number 5, I'm going to go through 5 of them. At number 5, we have Saudi Arabia. Well, of course, so a lot of Muslims dream to live close to Mecca and Medina. You can go perform Hajj and Umrah from close by, right? Some people, like myself, dream of going to Umrah multiple times in my lifetime, inshallah, and being close to Mecca and Medina and in Saudi, close to Saudi Arabia, gives you that opportunity to go and perform Hajj at least once in your lifetime and Umrah, inshallah, multiple times in your life. Other than that, the quality of life in Saudi has improved a lot, right? Technology and quality of living, even access to education, infrastructure, etc. Saudi has done a great job over the last decade or so or more, where they have built a whole infrastructure where it's much easier to live, cost of living is better, quality of food is amazing. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of people want to move to Saudi Arabia. That was in number 5. So number 4, we have Turkey. So Turkey has become another hub for hijra because it blends modern living with Islamic history and Islamic values. There's a lot of culture and history in the city, halal food available everywhere, being able to pray while you live in a modern society. So Turkey is in number 4. And then number 3 is UAE, especially 2 cities, and you know what they are. Dubai being the new hub of modern day business, and Abu Dhabi also being another corporate and business hub. UAE makes it easy for a lot of people to live there. So you'll see a lot of non-Muslims also moving to UAE. A lot of different cultures. It's like a melting pot right now, right? Over there, you have beautiful mosques all around. Infrastructure, jobs, cost of living. Depends on where you live. Dubai is expensive. Some places in UAE, cost of living is much better, right? So a lot of people are moving to UAE. So number 3, we have UAE. Number 2 is Qatar. So recently I saw this video where they were saying they're giving scholarships in Qatar for people to go and get educated. And Qatar is also a Muslim-friendly, modern, advanced country that is attracting a lot of Muslims. And number 1, this is my favorite. We have finally made it into Asia. So number 1 is Malaysia, right? So Malaysia is one of those countries. I've been to Malaysia multiple times, and I love that country. The hospitality, the food, the weather, the natural beauty is amazing in that country. And it's somewhere that even I would consider living, right? A lot of jobs, very business friendly as well. So, and for tourism and traveling, it's an amazing country. I've also seen a lot of digital nomads that are moving into Indonesia, Malaysia, etc. And they stay there because cost of living is cheaper, and it's such a beautiful country to live in. So those are the top 5 countries: Malaysia, Qatar, UAE, Turkey, and Saudi Arabia. Let me know in the comment section, if you were to make hijrah, what country would you make hijrah to?